shocking news rocks the rock and roll world as we bid farewell to a true icon. Ace Frehley, the legendary lead guitarist of Kiss, has passed away at age 74 after a tragic fall last month. But here's where it gets deeply personal. This isn't just about a musician. It's a reminder of how one man's wild spirit shaped an entire generation of fans and performers. Stick around, because diving into his story reveals twists that might surprise you. Especially if you've ever wondered why some bands conquer the charts while critics turn their noses up. Paul Daniel Ace Frehley, known affectionately as the Space Ace of Kiss, co-founded the band alongside Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons back in 1972. Tragically, according to a heartfelt statement from his family, he succumbed to injuries from that recent accident. In their touching words, "We are completely devastated and heartbroken." In his last moments, we were fortunate enough to have been able to surround him with loving, caring, peaceful words, thoughts, prayers, and intentions as he left this earth. We cherish all of his finest memories, his laughter, and celebrate his strengths and kindness that he bestowed upon others. The magnitude of his passing is of epic proportions and beyond comprehension. Reflecting on all of his incredible life achievements, Ace's memory will continue to live on forever. Now, for those new to the scene, Kiss wasn't just any rock band. They were pioneers of theatrical rock, complete with elaborate makeup, costumes, and stage antics that made concerts feel like over-the-top spectacles. Before music videos became mainstream on channels like MTV, that cable network launched in 1981, revolutionizing how bands promoted themselves visually. Kiss relied on live shows packed with explosions, elevators, and other jaw-dropping effects to captivate audiences. Their mystique was a big deal, too. Band members hid their real faces behind paint for over a decade, adding an air of mystery that drove fans wild. Frehley, with his spaceman persona, embodied that otherworldly vibe perfectly. And this is the part most people miss. Despite facing scorn from music critics and the so-called rock intelligentsia who saw them as flashy gimmicks rather than serious artists, Kiss left an undeniable mark on rock history, influencing countless musicians and inspiring legions of fans to embrace bold self-expression. But here's where it gets controversial. Was Kiss's popularity a triumph of populist appeal, or just cheap entertainment that diluted rock's artistic soul? Some argue the band's theatrical style democratized rock, making it accessible and fun for everyday people, while others claim it prioritized spectacle over substance. What do you think? Does a band's showmanship outweigh musical depth, or is there room for both in the rock pantheon? Frehley's journey began in the Bronx, New York City, born into a family with a musical bent. At just 9 years old, he got his first electric guitar as a Christmas gift in 1964, and without any formal lessons, he dove right in, never looking back. Drawing inspiration from guitar gods like Jimi Hendrix, known for his psychedelic solos, and Hendrix's wild improvisational style revolutionized blues rock, Buddy Guy, a Chicago blues legend whose raw energy influenced electric blues, Jeff Beck, famous for his technical prowess in bands like the Yardbirds, and bands such as the Rolling Stones with their rebellious swagger, Led Zeppelin, masters of epic rock anthems, and The Who, pioneers of high-energy performances and smashing guitars. Frehley honed his skills as a teenager, playing in local bands and earning his nickname Ace from pals who marveled at his knack for charming dates with the ladies. He dropped out of high school initially when his band Cathedral started making money, but he smartly went back to earn his diploma later, proving that education and rock stardom aren't mutually exclusive. By 1971, another group he was in, Malimo, inked a deal with RCA Records and recorded tracks that never saw the light of day. Then, fate intervened. a buddy spotted an ad in the Village Voice for a guitar spot in a new band called Kiss. Frehley showed up for the audition in Manhattan, sporting mismatched sneakers, one red, one orange, and though Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, and drummer Peter Criss were taken aback by his eccentric look, his blazing guitar riffs won them over. He joined a few weeks later, and by January 1973, inspired by the glam rock of the New York Dolls and Alice Cooper's shock value, the band adopted face paint and outrageous outfits, transforming into the larger-than-life act we know. Kiss faced uphill battles in the early days, battling indifference from New York's elitist music circles. Frehley even drove a cab to make ends meet. But teaming up with manager Bill Aucoin in September 1973 changed everything as they strategized their rise to fame. Their debut album in 1974, featuring tracks like Firehouse, Black Diamond, and Frehley's own Cold Gin, along with follow-ups like Hotter Than Hell and Dressed to Kill, saw only modest success at first. Yet the 1975 live album, Kiss Alive, boosted by an electrifying take on rock and roll all night, coupled with TV spots and growing hype, catapulted them to superstar status. Their target demographic? Teenage boys who reveled in shocking their parents with this freaky, painted-faced crew blasting loud tunes. Soon, Kiss's logo, with those bold lightning bolt S's borrowed from David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust era, adorned jackets and notebooks everywhere. Frehley was with Kiss through their glory years, departing in 1982 to pursue solo ventures, including his group Frehley's Comet and albums under his own name. Notably, in 1978, when all 4 Kiss members dropped solo records, fans often hailed Frehley's as the standout, thanks to his catchy cover of New York Groove. He rejoined the band in 1996 for a blockbuster reunion tour, sticking around until 2002, cementing his legacy as a foundational force in rock. As we reflect on Ace's life, it's hard not to ponder the broader questions. Did Kiss's emphasis on visuals over pure music redefine what rock could be for better or worse? And in today's world of social media spectacles, is their approach more relevant than ever? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you see Kiss as groundbreaking innovators or overhyped showmen? Let's keep the conversation going. More to come.